Hello, just testing again. Yeah, it's working. Okay, let's do this. Today's music is brought by City Girl, again. Check her links in the description. And today I'll start on Clicked Fusion, again, because I worked a little bit yesterday on some very smaller stuff, but it took so much time. It got very hard, like out of nowhere. I was not prepared for that. Okay, so what I did yesterday. Basically, I started working on the accessories of the customers, right? Remember yesterday's stream when I was messing around in A Sprite right at the end of the stream, right before I started sketching. I drew a top hat for a customer and actually was saying that it was Freddy Fazbear. Yeah, I redrew a top hat because I decided that that was actually a very good accessory for male customers. So yeah, here it is. It's a top hat. I'm very divided into one very specific aspect of the accessories, okay? I don't know if I'll make the accessories one object with all of them inside, or I'll make like tons of different objects, like many smaller objects. I really don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm leaning towards making it like many separated objects. It may seem like less professional and kind of bad to have like dozens of objects all around here. Pretty much like the items, but different, Like, I know that I can make them merged with one object, within one object. That is this object right here. I made it invisible, right? With a trick that I discovered a while ago, if you make a layer with only 1% of opacity, it actually becomes pretty much invisible to the naked eye, but the click team still renders it as a sprite, as a object, right? So there's that. You can make invisible objects that still act as normal objects in the menu, okay? It doesn't matter all that much for like the game itself, but for the process of making the game, it actually helps. Okay, so here's the top hat, here's the scarf, and here's the glasses. I even made some glasses, right? But that's the thing. This is like one object with like each animation of this object is a different accessory for the customers, right? Why I don't want to do it? Why I feel like this is kind of bad? Because I already made it in Soulslinger, right? If you play Soulslinger, you can see that the hats are pretty much like this. They work this way, okay? So it's just one giant object with all hats inside it. And each animation of that object is actually a different hat. So all it checks is the equipped hat, and then it selects a respective animation to that hat ID, that number of the hat is equals to the number of the animation, Pretty much like this one works, this object here works. You see, like, there's 2 for the Raspberry Pi, 3 for the cream muffin, stuff like that. It works pretty much the same way. But then I decided that I wanted to try the Soulslinger version first, right? One giant object, and then I set out to do it. Unfortunately, it was very complicated. It was very buggy. Because imagine that we have all customers, right? Oh yeah, so let me just move this right here. Okay, so imagine that we have all different customers, okay? Like many different customers, but they're actually the same objects. They're not separated objects. They're like the same entity in a way, you know what I mean? Like it's a copy of one specific object, not like each one of them is a different object, all of them are the customer M bear, right? The customer male bear. And this brings a lot of complications actually, because when you have like, okay, so let's simulate here. Let's simulate it here very quickly. Okay, imagine that you okay, my internet just fell for a while. Sorry for that. I already said on previous streams that my internet is very, very unstable these days. And apparently it's not just my internet, it's pretty much every internet here in Brazil. Like, it's crazy, Stuff are kinda like worrying. Okay. But imagine that. Okay, so what I was talking before, my internet just died here. Is that, okay, imagine that if a accessory is colliding with a customer, right, it's going to set its position to the position of the customer. Perfect, it should work with one customer. But imagine when you have two customers that just collide with one another. One will steal the hat of the other, okay, the accessory of the other. And one will have two accessories and the other will have none. This is pretty much how it works, okay? And I already faced this problem, like in the past, dozens of times, and I had to, like, maneuver and dodge stuff, try different ways, just to find a way to not, for this to not happen, and I pretty much never got a satisfying result. And this is still the case, I don't have a satisfying result. Sorry for my volume, I can see here on OBS that is actually crossing the red a lot. Okay, I may be talking too loud. Okay, and I still don't know what to do. Actually, it was very hard to make one singular object work on all of the customers, but let me show you, okay? This is the code, right? This faint code here is the code for the singular object, okay? I even called it accessories animations, because it basically works on the animations for that one specific object, right? So yeah. And okay. So I had to, like, maneuver around a little bit. Let me show you. Activate all lines, okay? So let me run through this code here, right? So start a frame, it's going to set the accessory from random to 1 to 3, right? Which is pretty much alright, because there's only 3 different accessories that the animation object has, right? That is the top hat, the scarf, and the glasses, okay? So it selects a random number from 1 to 3, right? From 1 to 3. And then, when the animation stopped is over, this is very important. Without this system cannot work. So basically, when it will create this object, it will create the accessories whenever a number is decided, okay? So I'll come back to this line here very soon. Okay, so if accessory is 1, 2, R3 is going to create the same object, the exactly same object at the position of the bear, okay? Then it's going to set the accessory of the bear to 100 and the ID of the accessories, which is alright. I use this same method in the separated objects as well. It works like a charm. It's very good. And it will do only that, okay? And this is where the complex part starts, okay? If the bear is overlapping a accessory and the equipped accessory actually has the equipped value equals to 101 and the accessory of the bear is equals to 101, then it's going to set the position of the hat, the accessory, to the action point of the bear. Okay, the action point is just a minor detail, okay? Change the animation to top hat, so it will select the correct sprite to show. And change the animation direction just in case the character moved from one direction to another and the object is not symmetrical, okay? That only happens with the glasses here. That's why I made the glasses to begin with. And then it works for every other one, except the only thing that changes is the animation, right? The animation that it changes to the respective animation to the equipped accessory, alright? And here is where the magic begins, okay, really occurs. When animation stop is over, so think with me, okay, so in one of these three lines here, it will select one of these three lines to run. They pretty much do the same thing, so there's no major problem here. It will create a accessory, right, a customer accessory object in the customer, okay? After a few frames, I believe it's just like 2 frames, something like that, the object will be completely inactive, okay? The accessory object will be completely inactive. It will have absolutely nothing to do. It will do absolutely nothing for like 2 frames. And after these 2 frames ended, it's going to end its overlapping a customer, which is pretty much what happens all the time. It's going to set the equipped value to the accessory value of the customer, alright? So it kinda like locks into that specific customer, right? And it only works, okay? So the object only follows the customers because they have the same value here, okay? Because they have the same equipped value, the same accessory value. So what does it do? Okay, it basically makes the... how can I call it, okay? It basically makes every single customer with different accessories not steal the other customer's accessories, okay? One very interesting thing that happens, and I'm pretty sure it happens, but it's completely impossible to notice by naked eye without debugging it, but I'll not do that because to start off, I don't know how to debug it, and I could figure it out, of course, but I think the effort is too big for too less of a reward, you know, so I'm not going to do that, and it's not something game-changing. It's actually very silly, but it works, okay? So let's imagine like this, okay? What if 2 customers with the same equipment collide with one another? This system here only prevents customers with different equipments stealing each other's accessories, right? But what if 2 customers with the same accessory collide with one another? What I believe happens is that they constantly steal each other accessories, right? They like keep switching the accessories between them, like every frame. Is there a problem to that? Absolutely not, because it's visually impossible to notice, because they have pretty much the same like accessory, they have exactly the same accessory, so it doesn't change a thing, right? It works perfectly. So I believe this happens. I'm not going to test it, it's going to be like a myth of this game, okay? Like a myth of this game, you know? A mystery. Does it really work that way? It could be. So yeah, that's what I believe. Is there a problem? Is there a problem to that? Actually, I believe there is not. I'm going to leave it this way anyway. I'm not going to bother to fix that because it doesn't matter a thing. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And here we have the accessories objects. Okay. There's one line of code less here. And you can pretty much see which line is it. It's this one, right? So this line of code here does not exist anymore in this system here, okay? They practically, like in the game, they work the exact same way, okay? So they're pretty much working fine, right? But this system here is a little bit more complex than this one here, okay? So this is why I'm leaning towards making this here, you know? But I still don't know what I'm going to do, okay? Since I already made this one work, I could just use this one and just change the animations. But there's one last thing that we have to consider, okay? The accessories are just one piece of equipment that the customers could have. The other piece of equipment that the customers will have is clothing. Okay, so imagine a customer with a skirt, a customer with a shirt, with a jacket, with stuff like that, right? It could exist, it will exist, customers will wear outfits, will wear clothing as well, okay? As well as the accessories. So the clothing, I cannot use this system up here with only one object with all the different clothings. The reason? Animations. The customers have different animations, and this system here does not work with different animations. This works for one singular object that follows, that does not change over time, like it can indeed play one animation loop, like it can just, oh, imagine I don't know, a trinket that will just be like swinging from one side to another. I can make that very easily here, because it supports that. But imagine a object that when the character is walking, it's dangling, and when the character is stopped, it stops. It stops as well. I cannot make that look beautiful here, look pretty, like look polished with this system here. I cannot make that. And imagine a object, a accessory that changes whenever the customer is sitting, whenever the customer is walking, whenever the customer is stopped. It like has a state for every single animation of the customer, right? It pretty much is how the clothing will work, okay? So the clothing will do that. They will have animations respective to each animation of the customer that they are in, okay, that the customer is wearing. And because of that, I cannot use this system for the clothing, because this system does not support many animations into the accessory or equipment in general. But this system does. This system allows for many animations. So with this system, even though it has the problem of having lots of different objects for each accessory, like not lots, but one object for each accessory, which would be like reduced a lot with this other system, because it would be only one object with loads of animations. So this is the only problem of that ladder system, right? Because it would have lots of objects, okay? Just imagine if I would make like 20 different accessories for the customers, right? Just imagine that. I would have to have like 20 different objects like scattered around here just for the accessories. And in this previous system, I would only have one object with 20 different animations, okay? Which one is better? I don't know. The separated objects allows me for more freedom, and not only for more freedom, but also is a system a little bit simpler to understand. Like, imagine if I would come back to this game in like years, you know, in like 1 to 2 or even 3, 4 years. I would have to understand how everything works, how every system works, right? There's actually a document that I could do, that is the game development document, that actually allows me to, like, literally document every single system and how it works in details, but I don't bother doing that because all my systems are pretty much very simple. Like, at least compare the systems of my games to other bigger games, it's like crazy how simple my games are. So I don't bother doing that, even for the bigger games. I know it's not very professional, but I'm an indie developer, not a professional developer. I'm actually professional because this is my job, but this is the profession that I fortunately got the chance to choose. But in terms of like professionalism, I know it's not good, but I don't mind. When I work with other people in a bigger team or something like that, I would do that for them to understand how everything works. But for me, when it's only myself working on the game, it doesn't matter, okay? I'll discover how it works. But then it's going to be a lot simpler to understand this here than this one here, right? So yeah, I'm very divided. I'm still leaning towards making separated objects, because in Soulslinger I made one singular object and it gave me trouble, right? It gave me lots of trouble, because whenever the character died, whenever the player failed and died, like in the first versions of Soulslinger, the hats will simply disappear. If you played previous to the last update, you'll see that the hats just disappear. And by the way, you can still play that version. If you also Soulslinger and go to the beta versions on Steam, you can actually select the first version online, you know, the first version to go on air. Not the first version, but the first version regarding to content, okay? So if you don't like the changes of the new version, you can always go back to the previous one. This is something that I made for the players that liked Soulslinger. I don't know if there's anyone out there that likes Soulslinger. Like, right now, it's more understandable, but back in the day, I don't know if there was. Because, yeah, Soulslinger was a big mess. But I'm still very proud of it. I really love it. And I constantly think about making a sequel to Soulslinger, which is something that kind of hurts a little bit to think about, but it's something that I'm quite interested in the future. But if I'm ever going to make a sequel to Soulslinger, it's going to at least be pseudo 3D or full 3D, right? Imagine Soulslinger but in 3D, like in third person. That would be huge, amazing, okay? Pretty much like Sonic games, you know, some Sonic games. That would be amazing. But that's something for another day in a very far future. I'm not going to do that right now, even actually I don't even know how to make 3D games to start with. I haven't even decided a engine yet. I'm leaning towards Godot, but is it the right option? I still don't know. I just hope that ClickTeam could have a better 3D support, because the Firefly simply does not work. But it's not for me, it's not very good. I cannot understand it. It's better to understand a proper 3D engine than understand how to use the Firefly. And I believe it's going to be easier to understand a proper 3D engine. So yeah, maybe in ClickTeam Fusion 3, it will have 3D support. That would be amazing. That's what I hope for. But until ClickTeam 3 releases, I'll probably have already learned another engine. Anyways, for 2D games, I don't have plans to switching. Like, I don't have plans to switch engines for 2D games, at least simple 2D games. But for 3D games, that's another story. Oh yeah, but going back to the game itself, okay, so Soulslinger had that head system, the one object head system, and it gave me so much trouble. It like made everything harder. Like, I had to do a lot of stuff that I was not planning to. It was very painful, kinda painful. So yeah, this is why I'm leaning towards making a separated system, like a different system for now. Since Smack is actually a very experimental game for me, I'm like experimenting with a lot of different stuff. Some mechanics, some like gimmicks, some specific parts about the development, like 48x48 sprites in a 32x32 scale, you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to understand, but for me it makes sense at least. Sorry. But yeah, I'm thinking about leaning towards making something different, something that I never made before, just to see how it works for any future projects, to decide on a better way, okay? So this is why I'm thinking about making them separated objects, because not only simpler to understand, is also different from what I've done in the past. So I think it's going to be a good exercise, a good experiment. But let's like have another consideration here. Like, there's another thing that we have to consider: the difficulty to change from one mode to another, okay, from one system to another, okay? So let's suppose that I made all like 20 accessories. That's the number of accessories that I have in my mind. I don't know if I'll do all 20, but yeah, imagine that I like let's suppose that I already made like 20 different objects, right? Different accessories actually. But oh no, I found a major issue with this specific system that I cannot fix without moving to the other system, right? If this happens, I'm screwed because of the clothing, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. It's very simple and straightforward, but hey, who knows? Game development is like you have to predict the future, but we cannot predict the future, so a lot of stuff just gets us unprepared, you know? Get us by surprise. And I already know how to deal with that. And it's kind of fun. It's one of the best parts, to be honest. When you find a bug that should not be there, this is the worst feeling of them all. Of all this process, it's the worst feeling. But when you get the bug working again, it's like perfect, dude. It's like dopamine. It's like copium. It's like, dude, happiness, pure fun for like 1 hour, maybe, if we're lucky, if the problem was very big. So yeah, this is when the fun comes in, okay? So solving the problems, it's very fun. When you solve them, sorry for my voice crack, actually. I'm already 21, but I feel I haven't like finished puberty yet because of my voice cracks. I believe it's because of my throat. My throat is not very good. Since I got COVID for the first time back in 2022, my throat was never the same. I believe it's because of that, actually. And my voice cracks a lot because of that. I would love to be a singer, you know, I'd love to sing, but unfortunately I cannot do that, I believe, because of my throat conditions. It's not anything medical, like, there's no real problem there, but I feel like my throat is a lot worse than it was in the past. So yeah, sorry for my voice cracks, it may happen a lot. And I forgot what I was talking about. but that's fine. I can't remember. Oh yeah, the difficulty to move from one system to another. Okay, so let's suppose that I made like 20 accessories and I want to move from one system to another. Moving from one object to like 20 different objects is going to be a pain. It's going to be extremely painful. But moving from 20 objects to only one object is a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is use this system here, and if for some reason I decide in the future that no, I don't want this system anymore, I want to go back, then it's easier for me to do that. But imagine if I'm doing like this one here and I find many bugs that would be avoided if I had this other system here. Like, it would be very frustrating because I would consider, okay, I want to move to separated objects, but then it's going to be extremely painful, and like it will take a lot of time and lots of work actually to get it done. So this is why I'm going to have different objects. There's many reasons that I want to do that, but you know, I can always go back to this one. So I will just like, not the comments, I will deactivate these lines, okay, because they don't serve anything anymore. I'm going to leave them here just for now, because it's a system that I got working, so this is very valuable to me actually. Oh yeah, but without further ado, let me just show you how the customers wear the accessories, okay? And there's one last thing that I would like to talk about, that is the difficulty to implement different like accessories, okay? It's pretty much the same, okay? It doesn't change a lot of stuff. It just changes that instead of going here and creating a new animation and all of that, I have to create a new object, right? But it's fairly simple, it's fairly easy, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let me just show you, okay? So here we have the customers wearing the hats and the scarves, right? And this one is already ordering a frozen yogurt, right? And this one is already ordering a sorbet. I found a bug with customers that sometimes when you fulfill one order, some random other order is going to be fulfilled as well. It doesn't happen, like it don't happen very frequently, but it kind of bothers me a little. So I'm going to fix that. Okay, it's a banana split. I don't know why I do this. I do this like for the fun of doing it, you know, because yeah. Oh yeah, and yesterday something very mysterious happened. It's the anomaly, dude. The game knows that I'm making a anomaly game. Yesterday, one of the customers simply disappeared. I was like, there were 4 customers like in the tables. I don't remember the exact position of them, but there were like 4 different customers. And when I head to the kitchen, like when the screen transitioned, I was going to make a food for one of them, but then I forgot which one was it exactly. And then I moved back here and there were only 3 customers in the tables. Not 4, only 3. That only happened once, and it's possible that I served that customer and don't remember. But yeah, who knows? Maybe that customer just disappeared. Is there a chance that it could just have gotten to the bathroom? But again, I don't think that's it, because they always come back from the bathroom. So it's very strange to have a customer simply vanishing out of nowhere, you know? Actually, this is something that I really want to make on the finished version, not the finished version, but for the anomalies, right? A customer that simply disappears and then it reappears out of nowhere. That would be amazing. Simply amazing. Okay, so what are we going to do today? I think that I'm going to work on some accessories, first of all, and then some clothing, maybe. Some clothing would be very fun, actually. So let's just move to a sprite. And here we are. Okay, I already saved a layer with, with the customer, you know. The top hat, the scarf. I could make another one, and I believe that's what I'm going to do, just to show you how it is to implement a new accessory into the game. Okay, so what would be a cool accessory to add to my guy here? Maybe another hat. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to make another hat for him. And this hat, I'm going to make it with this stone here. Actually, I was thinking about a cowboy hat. I think I'm going to do that. It's going to take a while, but we're here for that, actually. You know. This does not look very correct to me. It looks like a... What's the name of that? I really like that hat, but I forgot the name of it in English, actually. And I forgot the name of it in Portuguese as well. Boina is boina in Portuguese. I forgot the name of it in English. So it looks a lot like those hats that artists would use, you know. You know what, actually I could make a hat like that for my guy here. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to make a hat like that. The cowboy hat will come later. Maybe something like this? Yeah, I believe something like this is cute. Maybe if I move like one downwards, maybe? Yeah. But then I could make it another color. Not just this brown again. I could make it like a different color, maybe. No, I believe I like this one better. It looks like a cap, you know, like a police cap, something like that. I think I'm going to make it a pinkish. It's very gay, sorry. But this is really cool, this is amazing. Okay, maybe I can make it like a blue again, but I don't like making stuff blue. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like blue, but like, yeah. The top hat is already a shade of blue. Very desaturated, but it's a shade of blue. So I want to try something else. The scarf is already this shade of blue, so yeah, both of them are actually shades of blue. And actually, no, they're actually different shades of blue. Alright. So I want to make something different, okay? So yeah, I think I'm going to go with this pinkish here. I think it's very cute. Oh yeah, and one thing that I think it's going to be really amazing is the chance of a male customer to wear like female clothing and accessories, and the same thing with the females as well. It will actually helps with variety, you know, and will make for a nice addition, I believe. But then it's going to be the same color as that one. So I believe I'm going to move this one shade to the brighter side. Okay. I could just make it like this and then add another layer like this, but then it's going to merge with the cap. I'm not going to do this. Maybe if I do this just there. And let's add a little bit of shading here. Yeah, this is looking very good. Actually, you know what? I think that I'm going to move this entire like object one shade upwards. Then this place here is going to still be a darker shade. Yeah, I believe it's looking more like it. I would really like to add some light to it, you know. Oh yeah, now I can make it. Now I can add more darkness to it. Maybe if I change this a little bit, then it doesn't look very good. Okay. What if I just do this? I believe this is the way, okay? This is the way to go. But I don't quite like it with the even darker shades, you know? Now, a little bit simple, I guess. So let me just add some outlines here. The outlines actually like steal a lot of the attention and a lot of the customer model, like the customer sprite. But I think that the double pixel outline is very, very cute. So this is why I'm using it a lot. And you know what? You know what? You know what? But I don't remember exactly where it was. So, okay, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, accessories a sprite and accessories R1. Let me see one thing on ClickTeam, okay? One very... Oh yeah. Oh yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm actually calling this just customer accessory. But then, I think I'm going to call them accessories. Because they're actually singular in the game, you know? Like, there's one accessory per customer, but at the same time, this is all the accessories in one huge, like, PNG. No, I'm going to call it just... Oh, no. I think I'm going to call it just accessory. At least for now. R1, and then I'm going to flip it and use the L1. Okay, so let's move to ClickTeam then. So I can show you how I add a new accessory. Okay. I forgot that I actually had to name this. So let me just search for it very quickly. Barrett. Yeah. Barrett. No, but I don't want a person. I want a hat. Oh yeah, I think it works. Yeah, I'm going to call it Barrett. I believe that this is how this hat is called. Living and learning, you know? This is... I said that I didn't remember how it was in English, but I'm pretty sure that I never knew how it was in English to begin with, so yeah. Okay, so this is actually the customer accessory. Oh. Accessory R1? No, R4. Is it 4? I believe it's 4. Yeah, it's 4. Then let me just make it like a L. Okay, let me just check one thing very quickly. Oh yeah, it don't have like loop in the animations. Alright. So let's do this, okay? So if it's 3, this is going to actually change to 3. 103. 103. It will indeed just add this new object here and set these positions here. But then this one is actually going to create this one here relative to this guy here. Yeah, this is alright. And then let me just... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Alright, so you should be working. Why? Why it's not working? Oh, because of this, of course. Now it should be working. Yeah, now it's working. Now it's working. Lovely. Okay, so you can see that the customers now wear a different hat. And I can just serve them again. Once Sunday again. Okay. So you can see that it already starts to add some variety. The layer of the accessories is still wrong, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of visual glitches and inconsistencies that I want to fix that, but I want to fix that later. I don't want to fix it like right now, because right now I just want them to work, you know, And as I said in previous streams, I will indeed remake the entire customer system to make it more interesting, more polished in general. Oh yeah, so I'm like foreseeing, is this a right word? I believe it is. Oh yeah, so I'm just foreseeing a very like stressful game with this one, because imagine that you have a time to complete these orders, not like a time for each order, but a timer running from here, you know, like a bar that will slowly deplete over time. When it reaches 0, you're just gone. Okay, so yeah, so this is going to be quite a crazy game. Okay. Yeah, so this is how I add a new like accessory in this, with this system here. Okay, with the previous system, what I would do is just come here and add a new animation with the name of the thing, and then just add the sprites, and that's it. Okay, so this one is a little bit more, like, takes a little bit more time, not a lot of time, but just a little bit, with separated objects, but it's nothing like significant. It's very like, I don't know how to say it, sorry, but I hope you understood. Okay, so it doesn't matter the amount of time that I spend with these ones compared to this one here. Okay, so yeah, now let's work on some clothing. That's the word. Okay, so I want the customer model. Yeah, I already created a layer for the accessory, but I believe the accessory layer will not help me. Oh yeah, so let me just save it. And let's work on a beautiful clothing for this guy here. Okay, so the clothing will not have, at least I'm thinking about not adding any outline to it. So yeah, so skirts are going to be very challenging. And the clothing in general is going to take a lot of work to make, because imagine that I'll have to make one sprite here, same way that I did with this one here, but then animate it for it to fit with the rest of the animations, you know, with everything here. So it's going to take some time, but I believe that's fine, you know. I could do it with the accessories as well, but I believe it's not worth it. Oh yeah, the accessories, they change, like they follow the head of the player, right? This is what I was talking earlier about the action point, the accessories following the action point of the customer, not the hotspot, right? Because the action point, let's suppose it's right here, okay? I believe it's one upwards. I believe it's like here, the action point for the customers, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, but in this animation here, in this frame here, it's going to remain the same. Okay, this is the hotspot, but the action point, I manually changed it to follow the player head. Okay, so it will always be like this, you know. And here as well, it will be like here, and then I just moved it down a little bit, you know. Yeah, so the hat always follows the customer head, you know, the accessory actually, not the hat, because accessories are mainly going to be hats and flowers and tiny trinkets on, like, related to the head, you know, scarves as well, that it's related to the head. But some of them are actually going to be stuff on the hands, or like a belt or something like that. They will follow the head anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's just animation anyways, so it's not that big of a deal to just have them following the head, not the body. But yeah. Okay, so what kind of clothing I want this guy to wear, okay? I'm thinking about giving him a white, like, t-shirt. Just to test if it will work, okay? Let me just remove this a little bit so I can add shading to it. I believe that I'm going to leave it like this. So the important shading I already added. So now it's the additional shading, you know, the shading of the clothing itself. I could even make something like this, you know? Like to have it a little bit like different here, you know? It could be good. Actually, it could be... Yeah, I believe it's good. Maybe I could even move this, all of this just 1 pixel downwards. So this shirt is going to like take a lot of the legs as well. I don't know if I quite like it, taking like a lot of space on the legs. Yeah, I believe something like this could work. Yeah, a very simple white t-shirt. Nothing crazy here. Just for a little test, okay? Okay, then the head moves 1 downwards, then it will have to kinda have it deleted here. What is this? I'm kinda confused. Okay, I know what happened. It's because if I remove the main, I like did not like finish this middle section here. Oh yeah, so the idea is that the customers will also wear like 1 piece of clothing and 1 accessory at the same time, you know? Oh yeah, sorry. Let me just select this one. Just for you to know, this would be the... Yeah, so I'll have to add this as well. This would be the first time. Let me just adjust my pose, okay? My position on the chair. And stretch a little bit. Today I woke up very early, actually. Oh yeah, so I was saying that this is actually the first time that I'm making a piece of clothing, alright? I always just made hats and smaller accessories. But now I'm like making real clothing, and this is my first time doing it. So it may not come out good. I'll change the... Okay. So it moves the body down as well. Okay, so it's perfect, Oh yeah, so I will indeed just like animate right now. Okay, I was just first copying and pasting it. Okay, here, let's remove this one. Oh yeah, but the shirt is not following the arms. I want the shirt to follow the arms. Okay, so this is why I believe I'm going to like remove this here. Oh yeah. So many stuff may not go as I plan. Okay. And I'm quite afraid of that. Because as I mentioned before, even though like fixing bugs is very fun, having to fix them is like the worst feeling of them all. Okay. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, so I think it's going to be cool if I just add that, okay. So it's looking very similar to the normal shirt, but you can see that it already changed a little bit. No, it haven't changed anything from the original. Yeah, so I believe. Yeah, but that's the thing. That when it comes, okay. So I'm making it like this way just so it has some differences between. Yeah, I believe this is not a good idea, like to change that much actually. Okay. Okay, so I believe this shirt is pretty much finished. Of course, I still have a lot of stuff that I may like to change. Okay, for a simple piece of clothing, I think it's fine. Okay, so this one would have the name of customer clothing shirt R1. Okay, so the names are going to be like very big, but it's just for organization. I think that's the name, that's the word. Customer clothing shirt R1. Actually, I'm going to call it white shirt R1 to be even more specific, so I can add equal shirts but with different colors. Okay, so let's just move to Click Team very quickly here. Okay, now it starts a new process, okay? Because I'm going to make it... Because I'm going to make actually the... Oh yeah, let me just see, okay? So I saved it on the L as well. Yeah, I saved it on the L as well. Okay, so customer, not accessory, but clothing. You see that there's lots of... Just for the white shirt, okay? Just for one, there's like 26 different files. Okay, so it has like this, it's like this, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. So, L1, 6. Okay, so this is the clothing, stopped, okay. Let me just place it right here, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to use this for the clothing and this for the hats, the accessories actually. Okay, so let me just see one thing very quickly. So this is 14, this is 16, and then there's the weighting, which is exactly the same thing, but 14. And the last one, which is looped. Okay. Air 7, 6, 16 and loop, 16 and loop. Oh yeah, so because of like the difficulty to add a new clothing compared to accessories, there are going to be many more accessories than clothing. Okay, let me just clean my glasses a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, I wear glasses actually. They are not in the model, but in my waiting, in my like avatar, because I simply did not want to add them. But yeah, I wear glasses. Maybe in the next iteration of my avatar, I add glasses. I'm thinking about remaking my avatar very soon. I really like it, but at the same time, it could be a little bit different, you know? Okay, so let's just add, not the accessories, but clothing. Okay, so one thing that I'll probably not remake is this, okay? These pieces here, okay? So I'll probably leave them the way that they are. But I'll have to remake the customer behaviors, okay? I already have the clothing. You see, look at of these alterable values here, sorry, these alterable values here, all those variables. It's like crazy, the amount of variables that exist. Okay, so I'm going to set clothing to a random range from 1 to 1. Okay, only 1. And then I'm going to make it... Let me just copy and paste like one of these. But change to clothing. Because the system is going to be pretty much the same thing. Actually, this is another reason why I wanted to like make separated objects, because the system of the clothing and the accessories would be the same pretty much. There's only one thing that I want to change, okay? Change animation sequence actually. So this one, animation, current animation value. I really hope it works. I really hope it works. Okay, so all of them should be wearing not the action point. I don't want the action point. I want a hotspot. Oh yeah. All of the customers should be wearing white shirts. Okay, so I'm very nervous to try it out because I really hope it works. What is that? What a... Can you understand what's happening here? What? Okay, so let me just take a screenshot of this, okay, and place it on a sprite very quickly to see if the shade of those black bars are actually from my palette. Yeah, they are from my palette. Why? Why? Oh, okay, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm very, very stupid. Okay, I'm okay. I thought it was a bug. I thought it was a genuine bug, and I was very worried about it. But no, it's just me being stupid and worrying too much for something that doesn't matter, okay? So it's the scarf, right? It's a scarf. So you can see that the ones that have hats don't have this issue. Oh yeah, so it's working perfectly. Now all of them have white shirts. Except for the ones that have the scarf. Okay, so how can I fix that? It's very easy actually. It's just... I could add all of them into a group, right? The group that I'm using is actually the last group that I'm using is group 1. But group 0 is nothing. I'm just using group 1, is that right? Oh yeah, I still have the group 0, but it doesn't mean anything. Anyway, I think I'm going to use the group 3. Actually 2 and 3 for this here. Oh yeah, the group 0 is going to be the customers. Alright. The group 0 is going to be the customers, the group 1 is going to be the items, and the group 2 and 3 are going to be the accessories and clothing. Oh, why add those groups? Because they're very, very useful for many stuff, okay? So for an example, if, let me add like this, okay, so if a group 2 is actually colliding with group 3, which means if a accessory is on top of a clothing, it's going to bring order, move in front of objects of group 3. So now the scarf people should be fine with those shirts, you know? Oh yeah. You can see that they have the white shirt if you look very closely to them. What the? Why? 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 Oh, because I... That's alright, okay. Let me just... 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9... No. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm not very used to counting on English. I know it's very, like, stupid. Everyone knows how to count, right? But I'm not used to doing it in English, actually. I do it in Portuguese like 100% of the times. So it's very uncommon for me to count in English. Am I satisfied? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be satisfied with this situation here? Okay, so the clothing is working, the accessories are working, everything's working the intended way. Not everything, but the majority of things are working the intended way. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so sundae, roll cake, cappuccino, and mocha. Okay, so cappuccino, roll cake, mocha, and sundae. Roll cake. No, cappuccino. I still don't know if I want to have a penalty for like delivering the wrong order. I feel like I'm not going to do that. Just because it's very easy for the item to bounce to the wrong customer, you know. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to make like the customers will not accept orders that are not their orders, you know. Okay, so it's working. Yeah, it's working. So let's create another piece of clothing just to test it. Okay, I decided that I want at least 2 pieces of clothing and accessories. Accessories I already have 3. So yeah. Let me just clean this one very quickly. Let's create another piece of clothing. Which I want to try something different here. I want to try something more complex. Maybe a jacket. I believe a jacket is going to look very fancy. But this jacket gotta be red. Oh yeah, this jacket gotta be red. Okay, let me just see. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like this. No, it's very, very different. Let me just check one thing very quickly. Okay, yeah, it's working perfectly, okay. So, you may notice that there is more music. It's because I expanded the playlist a little. I did one more album from City Girl. Again, if you like this music, go check her out. I put the links in the description, right? So it's all there. She's very kind. She allowed me to to use her music on my streams, so I'm very grateful to her letting me do that, you know? Okay. Now, I believe I want to make another shade. Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to use the brown. Oh, yeah. I feel like a... Yeah, but then it's the exact same color of the rest of it. So maybe if I make it a little bit lighter. One stuff that I noticed about my art style is that I tend to use very dark colors. But that's not recommended, you know? It's very... Like... It's best... It's better, actually, to use... like lighter colors, brighter colors, you know? Oh yeah, I'm thinking this jacket is actually very red. Oh yeah, this jacket is very, very red. And red as well. Red and red. Oh yeah, something like this is looking very fancy. Not fancy, but like... Yeah, I think you understood it, okay? I hope, at least. I'm a jacket and hat fan, you know? I really like wearing hats, and I really like jackets as well. Especially coats. I believe that not jackets, but coats, you know, like trench coats are very pretty, in my opinion at least. I really like them. Especially with a scarf, you know? And this jacket is actually very cool. This is something very interesting about game development, is this step here, you know, this part where I'm working right now. Is like, you have the freedom to add whenever you want. You know, you already have the system working. You just have to add it, you just have to make it. So this part is very fun. I really like when I make games that has weapons, because adding new weapons is just crazy good, you know? It's just like very, very, very interesting to add new weapons. And stuff like that, actually. Just like... yeah. Playable characters as well, but playable characters, I never went too deep in this world, actually. Because every time that I add a playable character to my games, they are actually just skins, you know, they don't change a lot from one another, which is something that I would really like to change. Okay, so this one I have to move down, and this one I have to move down. And my throat just died. Again, it happens all the time. At this point, I'm used to it, you know. Like, it happens so frequently that... Okay, now I just have to change the... the the arms. So let me just get the white shirt. And just see how I do it for the arms, you know. Okay, so this one, it changes, okay? It changes from 1 to 3. Oh yeah, but it's actually different, so I'll have to remake it by hand. Okay, so I'll just delete it all and make the shape like this, you know? Oh yeah, and there's this part here as well, which I was forgetting. Hmm. You see, like, finding that sweet spot is very hard. I don't feel like I like it. Okay, so let's just make the original version and modify it. Okay, so then I would like to have like this. Maybe, I believe this is enough. Yeah, and then the shorter, they just go down and follow the arms, okay. So I'll have this one go downwards and follow the arms. Alright, and then this one here, it's going to be very downwards, but then it's going to follow the arms. Oh yeah, and this one is going to just have it like this. Look at this fancy bear. Okay, and now let's just customer clothing, not white shirt, but red jacket. I believe jacket is written like this. I'm going to leave it like this. If it's wrong, I can always fix it later on. But yeah, let's add it to the game, okay? Actually, let me just copy this one. Clone object very quickly. Just so I already have the animations created. I just have to change the sprites. Red jacket R1 with 6, and now L1 with 6, and now L7 with 6 as well. R7 with 6. Here is going to be R13 and L13 as well. And here it's going to be the exact same thing as this one, but without the loops. Oh yeah, so the jacket is already here. Now, let me just add another one. Okay, so if it's 2, then it's 102. Then it's going to change the jacket. Actually, I'm going to already make that it creates the jackets here. Okay, so create the jacket relative to the customer. Right, oh yeah, change it to 102. Change it here. And change it here as well. Okay. Now all I have to do is just set the clothing to random from 1 to 2. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working lovely. Oh yeah, so again, the layers are just wrong. The layers are just straight up wrong, okay? But this is fine, actually. I want to see a top hat with red jacket. Oh yeah, this guy's here. They're part of a gang, you know. I believe that the customers are what really makes this game, like, good, you know, because without the customers, this would not even be a game to begin with, you know. Let me just save it. And what's the next step? Let me just stretch a little bit. Oh, lovely. It's moments like this, it's moments like this that things are just working, that make this job worth it, I believe. Because, like, it's very, like, tiring, and making games is just very hard. And it takes so long to have, like, a simple stuff done, okay? So I spent yesterday's night, like, I believe that 3 hours, something like that, just to make the accessories work. Now, of course, I can just implement them in, like, less than 5 minutes, but to make it work the first time, it was such a hassle. Okay, but now, what's the next step? The next step is what truly makes it like a game, okay? So now you just have to serve the customers and that's it, okay? So the next step is going to make the anomalies. At least the start of the anomaly system. So let's create another variable called aberration. No, I believe that I'm going to call them anomalies. I don't want to call them anomalies as well. But yeah, anomalies is a very... it's a very known name, you know? But I'm going to call them aberrations, okay? So, if aberration is 0, then it's not an aberration. Let's create another one that's called rule. What this means, okay? So this first one, it will check, it will decide if the customer is a aberration or not, if the customer is an anomaly, okay? So if the customer is an anomaly, then it's going to select a rule. okay, a rule from the valid rule list, okay, from the list of the valid rules, okay. So this one is going to be called rule slot 1, and at the moment I'll only have like 2 rule slots. This test variable, I'll just have to scrap that and change it to something else, maybe player health. I could even do that right now, you know, like player health. Oh yeah. So I'm thinking about adding like 10 rule slots. I don't know if 10 are going to be enough. I think 10 is actually a very good number. But right now is when things start getting really complicated, okay? This is not like a little bit complicated, no, this is like really complicated because I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do this. But let's try. Aberrations. Aberrations. Okay, so before I start the aberrations, I'll take a very short break. And I'll come back really soon. So wait for me. Okay, I'm back. Let me just adjust myself on the chair. I'm going to miss the day that I buy a new chair. Not miss the day, but I'm going to miss my chair when I buy a new one, actually. Because this one just creaks so much. I'm going to miss that. Okay. How can I do this? Okay. So startup frame is going to set aberration to run on range between 1 and 1. I want to all of them to be aberrations, okay? So I'm just going to have only one customer, okay? So at the moment it should do nothing, okay? It shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so working on the aberrations is going to be like the hardest part of Smack until now, and I already know that, so I'm prepared. I'm so prepared that I even got a copy. This coffee that I got is without milk. It's just a normal coffee, but very dark without sugar and milk. Just water and coffee. It's very bitter, but I kind of like it. Okay, so if this guy here, aberration, is actually 1, it's going to set rule run on range between 1 and 1. Again, I'm going to create just one rule for now. I'll create 2 rules later, but for now I'm going to make just one. Okay, so this first rule is going to be naked. Okay, so if the guy is a aberration, it's going to be naked. Okay, so let me just place it like this. Okay, so rule slot 1 is rule 1. Okay, so if this here rule is equals to rule slot 1 or rule slot 2. Okay, so if it's different than all of these slots, if it's not in any one of these slots, then it's going to re-roll the rules, okay? But if it's in some of these slots, then it's going to do something. Okay, so if this one, okay, so it's going to set, I could create another one, okay? Yeah, so this one's to select if it's aberration, this one is to select the rule, and I can make another one that could be another variable called, okay, so this one is actually the rule selection, or no, the active rule, and this one is just called the rule. Okay, so this one will set the active rule, or would be, no, I think it's actually the opposites. Okay, so this one could be the rule, and this one could be the active rule. That's right. Okay, so this will select the rule, and this will set the rule to the active. Okay, it will basically, oh, sorry, it will set rule, active rule to 1. Right, so now I can create another one called rule 1. Okay, so if this guy is here, okay, rule is actually equals to 1, then it's going to, that's something that I was thinking about, actually, making the aberrations and the customers separated objects. I don't know if it's worth it, because you have to like change a lot of stuff in both of them. So I believe that I'm going to make them just one thing, okay? So if active rule is 1, it will set accessory to 0, and it will set clothing to 0, okay? So all of them should leave their clothing right here, okay? So yeah. Let's create another rule very quickly right here in accessories, that if a group 2 is not colliding with this one here, then it's going to destroy it. The exact same thing for this one here. If this one here is not colliding, it's going to destroy it. Okay, so this guy is a aberration, right? Because it has a it's naked, okay? So let's make a test, okay? Let's test something, okay? So this one must, oh yeah, okay, it's working, okay? So it's working lovely. And if I do this, it's going to be naked as well. Oh yeah, it's naked, okay. So let's just save this for now, and let's set the random values, okay? So aberrations, right? Here it's going to set, actually, you know what? I'm going to copy this starter frame and place it right down here, so I can know exactly. I can change it like easier, you know. In the final version, it's going to be just 1, and it's not even going to be starter frame, okay? So from 1 to like, I don't want 2, I want like 4, okay? So if aberration is different than 1, then it's going to set aberration to 0, and nothing will happen. Okay, so now my guy here has a chance of being an aberration, or at least that's what I was thinking. Okay, so it's going to set aberration to run a range between 1 and 4. If aberration is actually equals to 1, it's going to set rule to 1. Oh yeah, and different than 0 as well. It's different than 0. Is that right? I don't think it is. Okay, so if it's actually greater than 1, it's going to set... It's actually not going to do anything. Why it's always setting the aberration to 1? It's random range between 1 and 4. Only if it's 1, it's going to do this. Set rule to random 1, 1. Oh, and if aberration is 1. If the rule is actually greater than 0 and aberration is equals to 1, then it's going to set the rule. Set active rule to 1. Is this correct? I don't think it is. Okay, so yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, if aberration is 1, it's going to do that. This one don't need to be here. So it will only check. Oh yeah, now it's working. Now it's working, okay. So I had to check if the aberration was 1 actually. And this makes a lot of sense. Okay. So now we can already know which one is a aberration and which one isn't. Okay, a aberration is a anomaly, okay? Let me just place more customers here, like at least 4 customers here, so we can see. Okay. Okay, so all of them are normal people. All of them are normal people. Okay, 2 of these guys are actually anomalies. Oh yeah, one of these guys is an anomaly, okay? So we can already see by the fact that it does not have a clothing, okay? So this is the first rule, okay? This is going to be the main rule, actually. The rule that, like, is the basic rule, okay? So every customer that is naked, it's going to have a... It's going to be an anomaly, okay? So every customer must have at least 1 piece of clothing or accessory, right? Yeah. Just had to drink some coffee. Okay. So at the moment the clothing are actually very bugged, you know. So let me just switch this one here. Let me switch this one here. Very quickly to see if it makes it a little bit better. Oh yeah, no, I think it just made it worse. Keep in mind that no customers will spawn right on the cafeteria, okay? They will all spawn like below there, you know, they will all just move up here, you know. But at the moment, the anomalies just don't do nothing. They just like stay there and ask for food, you know. Nothing changes. Like there's nothing strange to it. Oh, you see that glitch that I mentioned earlier? It happened right now. This guy is now a ghost, okay? Will not accept anything. But those issues, I'm going to fix them later, okay? There's lots of polishing that I have to do in this game. And this thing is just floating. Why is this floating? Why is this floating? Okay, I believe I'm going to move it back, you know. Yeah. Okay, there's no anomalies here. There's no anomalies here. Why is the first one that has anomalies always? No, it's not always the first one. It's random. Okay. So I believe this one is the best anomaly to check, you know. Because, well, it just makes very obvious which one is an anomaly and which one isn't. Okay, so I think that I'm going to move all of them down a little. And I'm even going to move this guy here. Okay. Now there's 3 anomalies. Okay, I'll have to make anomalies a little bit rarer. But this is the kind of stuff that's like the last piece of the stuff, the last piece of the game, you know, just after I polish everything, I'll have to balance it, you know. Okay, but the first rule of the anomalies are working. And you may think, that's it? Fortunately not. Because I'll have to make some behaviors specifically to the anomalies, okay? So, if we move to the kitchen without killing an anomaly, it has to kill other customers. Okay. Yeah. That's going to be so hard to make. Okay. I'm not going to go like crazy mode here. I'm just going to make stuff very simple. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to work on something else first, which is the killing of aberrations, you know. So let me just check. This is so complex, dude. This is so messy. Okay. Look at this. This is so messy. Okay. Let me just see. Where is it? Is a projectile collision? No, I believe it's in items, right? Yeah, I believe it's in items. Right here. So let me just move it all the way down here. Okay, it's colliding with my guy here. And my brother is not a aberration. It's going to die. Yeah, and it's going to add more to screen shake actually. Okay, I'll have to just change all of this. Not to group 1, but to actually... Oh yeah, it doesn't work this way. This is going to take a while, but this is fine. Okay, I believe that's it. If it's not an anomaly, and if it is actually an anomaly, okay? At the moment, it will not change anything, okay? So let me just shoot you. Why is this not working, actually? What the? I made them in the right layer, right? Yeah, I made them in the right layer. Oh, it's different than one. So now I can just kill them, okay? Their accessories start floating, but there's no problem in that. I'll fix that later, okay? Those visual glitches, I'll just fix them later, okay? Okay, let me drink some more coffee. Okay. And now, what will I have to do? Okay, there's lots of stuff that I have to change in these systems. Like, dude, the system is just so big. It hurts my head, literally, it hurts my head, like physical pain, just thinking about working on this shit. Sorry for the swearing, but yeah. This is going to be very, very heavy. My brain don't want to work, but I need to. Okay. So I could, just could play a little bit right now. Let's do that, okay? Let's work on something. Okay, so the first rule is that my brothers here, my bears, my guys, would be naked, alright? This would actually apply to every single customer, right? It doesn't matter the type, like the animal or the clothing, it will, or actually the lack of clothing, it will apply to every customer. But don't worry, it is just the first rule and the easiest one, actually the easier one. There are going to be many, many different rules, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work to make them work correctly, but I have a lot of ideas. And even ideas that mess with the concept of customers having an inventory system. I hate saying these words, but if it works, it's going to be amazing. Okay, this is my motivation, okay? If it works, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be one of the best games that I made, like, until now. Yeah, and my dogs are just going crazy. Sorry for that. Actually, I live right in front of a school, and there's lots of cars that just move like through the front of my house, and lots of kids just walking like the other side of the street, and my dogs goes mad because of those kids, actually. And believe in me, trust me, okay, so the parents are worse than the kids. Literally, they're worse than the kids. The kids just scream, cry, and stuff that kids do, and play a little bit. But the dads, the parents, the mothers, they are so impatient. They like fight. They literally fight in the front of my house. Like, sometimes even the police has to come. It's not a cheap school, okay? And we live in a good place, in a safe place where there's not many violence. Like, actually, we live in a city that pretty much has no violence. But then in front of my house, they decide to fight because they don't have enough patience to just wait the kids to enter the cars and go home. So this is very bad. This is very, very strange. So if sometime I'm just streaming and my dogs go crazy, that's probably because of that, okay? They start barking and stuff like that. So I hope you don't bother too much about it. I hope it actually don't bothers you too much. Okay. Now it's a very interesting step. Okay, let me get the customer. Actually, I'm going to work with this guy here, okay? This same model here. Now it's a very interesting time. I'm going to take the first and simple, and I'm going to make it creepy. Remember that I said that this will be part horror game? Yeah, I hope you don't mind some creepy stuff, because I'm about to go crazy with this guy. I'm going to make him a monster. Okay, so what's my ideal vision of anomalies, of the aberrations, okay? So they are shape-shifting creatures, like they dress, quote-unquote, as customers, right? So they disguise as customers in a skin-like customer, you know, in in something that looks very close to a customer, but they always let something loose, okay? They always let something like slip. But if you let those details slip, then this guy is going to transform. It's no longer going to be a cute little bear. No, it's going to be a monster. I think about a spider-like creature with like pitch black legs and tentacles sort of thing coming out of its mouth or belly or like from its back, you know, and this guy is going to look horrifying. And there's a few interactions that I want to happen, okay? So if this guy is an anomaly, depending on the rule and depending on the position and lots of factors, I want to make that if you move to the kitchen and go back, like very fast, you can see that this guy is transforming and coming back to normal, you know? Just to scare you, you know? Just for you to feel like, okay, so that guy almost transformed in front of me, but since it saw me, it like stopped. That's what I want, okay? I want them to give very subtle, like, signals, signs that they are a monster, okay? So the first thing that I have to do is just remove the pupils. Because as far as I am concerned, actually monsters don't have like very pretty eyes. They have like very scary eyes, to be more specific. And I'm going to add more shading to these eyes because I want them to look like hollow eyes, you know, something like this. I could even make them darker and even change them to like something blackish. Not blackish, but reddish, actually. And I'm making on the wrong layer! Yay! I really like when I do it. Sorry for that, but yeah. I hate when I do that. Okay. Now back on track, okay? So yeah, it's just kind of strange. I think that the white variation is a little bit better. With some red tint, you know? Not blue anymore, I want it to be red. Like full red eyes. And I believe that this shading here is not very creepy, you know? I can make it creepier if I make it like from below, you know? If I just like make it from... I see potential here. I see potential. Having something like this, maybe? Yeah, something like this is very creepy. He looks like a zombie of some sort. Yeah, I kinda like it. Then I want to make some... huge teeth, you know? Because my guy is no longer my guy. It's a monster. It's going to kill you. Yeah. At least it's going to try. This is why you have a freaking shotgun. This is the moment where the shotgun actually shines, you know? Like, this is when you have to use the shotgun. And this is when you actually understand that why you got a shotgun in the first place. No, this mouth is not looking very good, actually. I believe it's the lack of color. I'm going to add some red here. Just like to feel like a mouth. No, this simply does not look good. I feel like I'm going to change the shape of the face, you know? Oh yeah, so the walking animation for this guy is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so... yeah, it's going to look like this. This is what I want. No, actually, I don't feel like I want it to change too much. Like, yeah, it would be fun if this guy had like huge teeth actually. But I'm still thinking about about it, you know? I think that this design of teeth is actually the best one. And I can even change the eyebrows, right? For it to look very angry. Actually, it looking angry, just like it's very silly and goofy. And for these guys, I don't want it. Okay, I want them to be scary. So if I remove their eyebrows, they look kind of creepy. You know Bonnie from FNAF. Sorry if I talk too much about FNAF, but yeah. Bonnie from FNAF is very scary because he don't have eyebrows. This actually helps to sell that impression of scary stuff, you know? Is Bonnie from FNAF scary? Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know if it is, to be honest. But it is a little bit, at least, I believe. Maybe having stuff like this. This one can be... Oh yeah, so this one looks very creepy. I believe that every artist, at least once in their lives, had that one phase where they just drew strange stuff, you know? This is giving me nightmares, and I'm loving it. Okay, so one very old trick to make horror stuff is to actually add things coming from the eyes, you know, like crying stuff, you know? So if I just make this guy cry pitch black... Oh yeah, sorry for the horror stuff, but I really need to do it. This is a horror game, after all. It's one of those games that, like, kind of makes you think that, oh, this is a silly game, this is a very, very simple game, and yeah, very funny, very cute, and all that stuff, and then suddenly a creature like this spawn, and then you start thinking about your life choices, you know, like, was that right? Like, is playing this game a right thing, you know? Like, something like that. This is what I want. I believe that this game is going to be amazing. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I kind of want to participate on the horror trend, because I believe that horror games have a higher chance of being successful. So, in the end, I'm not here just for the fun. I would love to be here just for the fun, but I'm here for the money as well. So I have to do something that will call the attention of people, you know? So I believe something like this can call the attention of people. People really like horror stuff. I kind of like horror stuff as well. And because of that, making a horror game kind of feels right, you know? In a way, at least. I feel like its mouth is looking very silly. Maybe if I add more tusks, like more teeth coming out of it, it may help. Because I feel like it's smiling. It's smiling too much, you know. What if I just move this one down a little bit? Oh yeah, but you know what? It's kind of looking good, you know, and I can just add more, like, stuff like this. like a little shadow there, just to show that it's actually kind of growling. I believe this looks terrifying. It's like a jump from very cute to extremely horrifying. So yeah, sorry if I got you, like, I unexpectedly made this cute little stream of game development into a very creepy stuff. I hope you don't mind it, actually, but yeah, keep in mind that this is a horror game, and actually this is the first time that I'm making something like this in a while. As I was talking earlier, I believe that every artist, at least once, got a phase that went through making horror stuff, you know? And I had mine as well, you know? I drew tons of animatronics from FNAF. Again, sorry for that, but it's no longer one of my major interests, but it was my major interest when I was a teenager. So yeah, I was very hyper fixated with FNAF. Not ironically, I'm one of those FNAF kids that just theorize a lot and actually went into fights in the internet to know which silly robot was who. Like, oh no, you don't know, this guy is possessed by that ghost because of this and this and this, and then the next game just threw all of that out of the window, you know. And yeah, now you understand that FNAF is just a money farm in a way. But I'm not gonna lie, I kinda still like it a little bit. It's very silly, and because of that, it's very fun. It's very funny. I don't like playing the games, I just like watching, especially Fusion Z Gamer and Ryan, the 8-bit Ryan, playing. Dalco as well, I followed him like since I was, I don't know, 13? No, actually, 13, 12, 11, since I was 11, I think. Yeah, I followed them for like a long time. Not 11, a little bit later, like 12 to 14, you know, like let's say 13. Okay, I don't remember exactly, but I followed them since I was like 13. And one of my dreams, dude, is to have one of them playing my games. One of my games, at least. This is why I'm kind of focusing a little bit more on the horror style, you know, because I really want them to play it. And not just because, oh, the money, the visibility, the fame, and no, I don't know how much money it's going to give me, actually. But it's something that I would be very happy just to see my favorite YouTubers playing my games, you know? One of my games, at least. It's going to be crazy, okay? So that's something, okay? Mario Morphos Lingering Forest of Strays, I knew that they were going to fail. At least in some extent, okay? Because I knew that they were not like those big games that a lot of people talk about. No, it's just a silly game, you know? But for Smack, for Tassogare, for I think these two, maybe Stone Souls as well, I want to add lore. I want to add horror. I want to, not Stone Souls, like, put Stone Souls aside, okay? So I want to make some horror stuff. I want to make some stuff with lore, mysteries, and but not only mascot or horror trend. I don't want to make a mascot or horror. I don't want to be famous for. I don't want to be known as the guy that made a FNAF clone, a Poppy Playtime clone, a Garden of Bum Bum. Sorry, but yeah, I don't want to be known as that guy. I want to be known as the guy that make that one specific game, okay? Like Scott Calton is for FNAF, like Toby Fox is for Undertale, I want to be known as the guy that made that one game, not that one game that was a clone of other games, you know? And to be honest, I don't even want to be known as someone, I just want people to play my games. And this is why Smack is going to be free to play. Yeah. So, I don't know if I'll be able to release it until October 31. I would love to release the first version of Smack in October 31. But it's going to be very hard, considering that's like 12 days from now, it's going to be crazy, okay? Maybe if I can work like a lot, I may do that. But I'm here just talking and looking at this creepy guy and not working at all. So let's go back to work, actually. So yeah, what do you think, okay? So please, give me some feedback on what you think about this guy. Is it too horrifying? Is it silly? Because I don't have many ideas about it, okay? So for me, it's looking good. But it's looking very, very silly. Like, extremely silly. But this is because I didn't add the tentacles yet. I really like this. I love these phrases, dude. Like, oh, it's because I didn't add the tentacles yet. Oh, they're going to have tentacles? Yeah, they're going to have, like, big tentacles. And no, I'm not a fan of tentacles in hentai, okay? Don't get the wrong thinking here, don't get the wrong line of thought here, okay? I just want to make it for the horror. Okay, so let's make a small simulation, okay? So it's going to look like this, pretty much like Venom, you know? I'm not a fan of Venom and stuff like that, but it's a good example, you know, like a tentacle monster, you know, something like this, something like this, something like this. But I believe I want to make the tentacles like coming from inside him, not from the back, from inside him. I think it's going to look even creepier. Oh yeah, another thing that I want to try is to like move it one upwards. You know, and then like take the legs from this sitting pose and kind of modify them a little bit here, you know, because I want this guy to be like floating a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, I want this guy to be kind of sitting in the air because the tentacles are actually supporting him in the air, you know what I mean? Like, I want to give the impression that the tentacles are actually moving this character, you know? So kind of making him sitting like this is kind of good way of doing it. But then let's just make the hands a little bit like to the sides, you know, like this. I believe something like this, maybe something like this. And then I could always just add like claws as well, because claws are very cool, you know. I like my monster with claws. Not on the feet, okay? I just want to make the claws on the main hands. On the hands and stuff. Actually, it would be better if this was actually red. Let me see if I can get a better shade of red to... Oh yeah, I'm making it in the wrong layer, dude. I hate when I do it. I really hate when I do it. So let me see. Does it look very ugly? It kinda looks ugly. I don't know how to call it. Like, how can you... Oh yeah, but then it's the exact same color. This is kinda problematic. Yeah, so I can make the like less saturated version of them. Yeah, something like this. But then I would love to just place like red claws, you know? So I could just add this here and then add the other shading piece here. Yeah, I think this is it. this soundtrack is so pretty, but it definitely does not fit with this character here. And I made stuff on the wrong layer again, right? I did. Having so many layers is actually a problem for me, you know? Oh yeah, so this is my guy. But yeah. I kinda want this to be like normal leg, you know what I mean? No, but then it looks like it's jumping? I don't know. Yeah, so I don't want his legs to be like symmetrical. I want his legs to be a little bit off. Not symmetrical, but it looks like he's sitting. Like this one here, okay? So I don't want it. I want it to feel like this guy is just actually like with his legs suspended, you know what I mean? Like he's not using his legs, you know? I don't want to feel like he's using his legs. I want to feel like he's... Yeah, but I feel like this actually works a little bit. Okay, I believe that I'm not going to add anything else here. I'm going to just let it be this way, okay? Sorry, my guy, I just formed you into a monster. I'm really sorry about it. I'll probably have to change this design again, but I'll work on that later, like maybe off stream. Don't worry, today's stream is going to be pretty long, okay? It's already 2 hours and a half, but I came prepared to that, okay? So, I want to make... So this guy is not going to be stopped in one place, you know? This guy is going to be kind of crazy, moving around and doing its stuff. So I want to change... I want to make a idle animation to him, but this idle animation is going to actually be the normal animation. You know what I mean? Like the idle animation and the moving animation are going to be the same, okay? So this is what I'm thinking about. Oh yeah, but then actually I'm going to just move all the main stuff, you know? Move like all the body down by one, you know, like this, you know? Yeah, so it moves the entire body. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, actually, I wanted to move... Oh yeah, no. Save it, because it's going to be the next frame. Okay, I want now... No, I want this. Okay, so it's actually a mix between the like idle animation and the moving animation, right? Oh yeah, I really want this guy to be kind of like frenetic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 already. Yeah, I believe it's going to be a 7 animation. Oh, dude, I hate when it does that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. No, it's going to be an 8 animation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's going to be a 8 animation. Okay, 8 is a good number. I like 8, so I'm going to go with the 8 animation, okay? I don't know if this will actually look any good, okay? I really don't know. Not ears, but mane. I just hope that my guy is not looking very goofy. Okay, so this one's going to be called Aberration Idol. Towards the 21. Not Aberration Idol, the Aberration. I don't know if I quite like it or not. What if I just remove this frame here and then remove this frame here? Then it's dancing. Look at those moves. My guy's grooving. Okay. Okay. I just want to move like his paws, his claws actually, up by 1 whenever he does that, you know? 1. Now he's grooving even more. Okay. Yeah, so I want to try something like this. You know, like... He's dancing so much. But I don't want to feel like he's dancing. I want to kind of give the vibe that he's like just jiggling around, you know, like just... Because now he has everything like controlled, you know? Like this is my guy idle, this is his walking, this is his sitting. This is perfect, okay? This is a normal creature, a normal bear. But this one is a shape-shifting monster. And he's not going to use his legs, you know? maybe I can just like try something else. My mother would be so angry with me if she saw me doing this to this guy. Because she would think that this guy is so cute, and then I'm just transforming him into a demon, into a monster, into a flesh-eating creature, into a creature from the very depths of... I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but at this point it just doesn't matter, okay? Okay, so this is just so you know that this game is not going to be a funny game with nothing in it, you know? Like, this game is going to be horror-like? I don't want to focus too much on the horror theme. Okay, because to be honest, I'm not that big fan of horror, you know? I kind of like it, but not when it's overused, you know? So I don't want to make like tons of horror into the game. I just want to make a little bit, okay? So this creature is a creature that you would probably want to shoot with your gun. Okay, so if you saw a creature like this inside your own cafeteria, you would probably want to just blast it and pop it, you know? That's what I believe, at least. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do here. I will not be surprised if this video if this live cannot be like archived because of this guy here. This looks very ugly. You know what? I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete it. Actually, not delete. I'm not going to delete it all. I'm going to save it like this, just so I can... Like, okay, so I'm going to save it like this. No, 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 no. Customer model, I believe it was. Not a sprite. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to save it like this. Right, and then I'm going to do it like this, okay? Am I going to save this as the bear? That's a very good question. I don't know if I want to save this guy as the bear or as a different file. I may save it as a different file. Actually. But I don't know. Okay, I'm thinking about saving it as the bear. So just 2 here. Okay, so save this as the customer and bear R1. Yeah, override it and then L1. I'm not going to change the female version as well because I did not made a female version like in game, you know. I already have the sprites here, but I did not implement it into the game still yet. Okay, so let me show you. It is actually the customer customer fbear. I'm going to change these names, okay? I'm going to change to Mr. and Mrs., right? Because I think it's going to be more whimsical. So this is a bear lady. Isn't she pretty? And this is the bear male. This is the bear male. And this is the bear female. They have pretty much no difference between one another. Just the female has like eyelids, like bigger eyelids, and a slightly different eyebrows. Oh yeah. So let's add my aberration guy to the game. Okay. So this is going to be very tiring, and making these aberrations is going to be like absolutely crazy. So let's add another one, which is going to be called the aberration. Yay! Which is going to be customer M bar R40. Oh yeah, this is how it looks. Pretty, isn't it? Pretty, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to create another alterable value here. I already have 7. It's going to be 8, at least for now. Okay, so let me just stretch a little bit and do this, okay? So this is going to be called, I believe it's going to be called score. It's going to be a score. It's going to be scare score. Scare score. I don't think that's a good name. Oh yeah, so this game will not have jump scares. Okay, don't worry about that. If you consider a customer transforming into a monster right in front of your eyes and eating another customer a jump scare, then it's going to have jump scares. But for this version, for this like jump scares that a monster jumps at your screen, it's not going to happen, okay? I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. Oh yeah, scare score. No. I don't want to call it aberration again. Like, aberration score is too big. Or I can just call it... No, I feel like... Transform score, no. Transformation score, maybe. Transformation score. It's a even bigger name, but it doesn't matter, okay? Bigger names, it doesn't matter a thing, okay? So, whatever. Okay, so... Can I check if the player is in kitchen? I already do that. Don't I? Pretty sure I already do that. Okay, there is actually a better way of doing it. In menu, no, it's upwards. Speed trigger. Box. Change some movement to 2. Screen transition. Yeah, I kind of already do that, but let's just add another one. Not in menu, called in kitchen. Yeah, I'll probably have to in kitchen. I'll probably change that later as well. Okay, so this is just to make the guy transform, okay? So whenever it's colliding with kitchen trigger in, yeah, it's going to set in kitchen to 1 and then set in kitchen to 0. And now let me just test something. Okay, let me just set the player health to this guy's the maid in kitchen. Let's see if it's working. Okay, hello little customers, you're about to get blasted by my shotgun. I don't care. Okay, so in kitchen is 1 and in kitchen is 0. You can see right on the top here. Okay, so in kitchen is 0 and in kitchen is 1. It's actually the player health just for debugging, okay? Don't worry about that. So yeah, it's working pretty perfectly. Okay, so whenever in kitchen. Okay, so let me just create another one here called transformation. I think I'm going to put it above the rules actually. It's going to be called transformation. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to create another alterable value, which is going to be the transformation max score. Yeah, transformation max score, okay. So if this guy is an aberration, when it decides the rule, it's going to set the transformation max score to a random number between 2 and 4. Let's do that, okay? Let's do it this way, okay? If my guy is actually a aberration, okay, aberration is equals to 1, okay, so if he is actually a aberration, and my lady is in the kitchen, right, kitchen is 1, it's going to add 1 to aberration transformation score, okay, so it's going to add 1 to transformation score. But this is something interesting, okay? I want to change something, okay? So if this here, oh yeah, and then it's going to set this one to 2. Set in kitchen to 2. Okay. So it should not change anything, okay, at the moment. So if my guy here, transformation score is equals to this transformation max score, then it's going to set the transformation score, then it's going to actually change the animation to aberration and set the transformation score to 0. Okay, let's see. This is kind of creepy. All of them are like doing it. This is not how I intended it to go, actually. But yeah, and aberration is 1. This is important. Okay. Okay, so the aberrations are there. You can already see them. They are ready there, you know. 1, 2. Not any moment they can transform. I hope at least they can. Can they transform? No, they cannot transform. Why they cannot transform? Okay, remove that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my guy don't want to transform. What am I doing wrong? Oh yeah, it's going to set action to 0. It's going to actually... No, it's going to set action to 400. Just to make sure, okay? Just to make sure that that was not a problem. Okay, I believe it has to do with this here. You see it already transformed. Oh yeah. So this is kinda what I want to happen, but not this way. How can I make that it adds only 1 point at a time? It's going to set another attribute value to 1 maybe? But not in this, not in this. I want to add another attribute value. Set aberration rule, active rule, transformation, max score, so on. And then if this one is 0. Alright, so if in kitchen is 0, then it's going to, not this one, yeah, this one. It's going to set the value here to 0. Okay, let's see if it works. Oh yeah, there is a aberration here. 1 was not enough. 2 was enough. Okay, so 2 was the number for this one. 1, 2 is the number for this one as well. So I want to catch one that is more than 2. Okay, so these ones were 2 again. Maybe 2 is the number, like that it's always selecting. It's always selecting 2 maybe. Yeah, it's always selecting 2. Why? Why it's always selecting 2? I don't want it to be just 2. I want it to be like a random value. Aberration to random 1 to 4. Okay. Where did I set that? Oh yeah, transformation max score 2 to 4. Let's change this first number to like 10. And this one to like 11. One, 2, and it's not transformed. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, okay. Okay. So it should be working. Maybe I just got unlucky. Let's place it like a higher number, like from 2 to 8. Let's see, 1, 2. Okay. Oh yeah, it already transformed. Shit. Sorry for the swearing again, for the curse word, but it's kind of frustrating. Okay, so 1. Dudes, please get out of the way. I don't want to see you anymore. Okay, my guy, are you going to transform? Yes, it transformed. Why? Tell me. Why? Why? Okay, so let me recheck this one. Okay, so if aberration is equals to 1 and transformation score is equals to transformation max score. Okay, I guess I understand it. I got it. And this one rule is equals to 0. Yeah. Okay, I kinda got it. I think I got it. Okay, so now 1, 2. None of them has transformed. 3. One of them transformed. Okay. And that guy is just going to pass right through the... Okay. 4, 5. One of them transformed. Okay, so this is what I wanted. And 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, this guy transforms. Okay. So the score idea is kind of working. Okay. And this I'm going to call actually transformation trigger. Don't worry, when I remake all of these systems, I want to give proper names to these attribute values. For now, it's just placeholders, okay? Like, pretty much everything that you see here with the customers, except for the accessories and clothing, it's going to, like, be remade, okay? I'm going to remake it, okay? I'm thinking about the aberrations, just like... Is my impression or that guy just transformed? No. So, you could serve the aberration and let it go, right? But in the final version, it will not be possible, okay? Don't worry about it. It will not be possible. The aberrations, when you serve them, they're going to transform, okay? They're going to transform whenever you give them food. So you have to be very careful about which customer do you give food to, okay? Sorry for that. Okay, I don't want to serve you. I really don't want to serve you. Okay. I believe this is kind of good, you know? Oh, your aberration. Get out of here. Get out of here. And now, there's only, like, those right customers, those correct customers, and now I can serve them. Oh yeah, so this is just the bare bones of the concept of the game, okay? And you can see that the horror stuff is not very, very big, you know? Like, yeah, it really doesn't matter all that much, you know? Ah. Okay. So for now, it's very easy to see, to identify which one is a aberration and which one isn't. Okay, so we already know that these two guys are actually aberrations because they don't have any accessories, they are naked. Okay. This guy here is not an aberration because it's not naked. Come here, come here, come here. Very quickly, come here, come here. Okay, this is very cruel. Okay, so which one that guy wanted? Oh yeah, it wanted a Mocha. Oh yeah, so you can see that everything is very buggy. But as I said earlier, I'm going to remake these systems anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, what matters is that the customers can transform. Okay, the anomalies can transform, and the normal customers don't. Okay, this is important. I use a lot of alterable values. When I remake this stuff, I'm going to think about whether I can make it a simpler, or if I have to have all those different values and stuff like that. So I'll just optimize it later. Like, there's tons of bugs, okay, related to the, like, especially visual bugs related to the accessories, to the clothing, to the customers in general. But what do you think, okay? What do you think about the accessory system, of the clothing, and especially about the aberration ideas? Again, sorry if I'm kind of moving to a different, like, style to this one here, okay, so to these customers. I'm kind of very worried to have something like this in such a family-friendly, quote-unquote family-friendly game. But at the same time, I feel like I want to add blood and other stuff. Like, whenever you shoot a customer, it's not going to, like, oh, you shot me, sorry, or just disappear in smoke. No, I want to add effect to it, you know? I want to add, like, maybe maybe I can make a censored version and an uncensored version. The uncensored version is going to explode in blood, and it just does that. But maybe in the censored version, when you shoot it, it's going to explode in foam, you know, like plushy foam, you know. I think it's going to be quite good. So sorry if the stream was more violent and horror themed, like this last part of the stream. I hope it doesn't have like unexpected consequences because of that, you know. But this is the path that I wanted to move with this game anyways. So one time or another, I would have to show you that. You know, I would have to work on something like that. Okay. And at the moment, the aberrations just stay the same, you know, they just like stay like normal creatures. Like just not normal creatures, but you know what I mean, like they just stand still. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, I really don't want that to happen. I want them to be like moving around and like leaping to other customers, you know, and leaping towards the player as well. It's going to set or on a customer or on a player. If the player is in the kitchen, it's going to actually set on a... Oh yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so it could set on a customer if the player is in the kitchen, and it could set on the player if the player like delivers a order to this guy here, okay? But that's the thing, okay? Some customers, some aberrations can only be determined as an aberration after you served the order, okay? So some of them, you have to watch what it does with the item that you gave, you know, that you gave them, that you gave it, actually. So, for an example, there's going to be a... It's very hard to see because of my avatar, but it's going to be a trash can right here, okay? So the customer just eats something and it's coming to put something in the trash. If it goes to the bathroom, then it's going to be an anomaly and you have to kill it. But if it comes to the trash, then it's going to put something in the trash and go back home, like nothing happened, you know? So yeah. So when will you have to shoot the anomalies? Whenever you discover that it is indeed an anomaly, okay? So if the guy just goes to the bathroom, when it comes back, it's going to stand right here in the middle and transform, okay? So it's going to give you a little bit of time to shoot it, okay? Because there's going to be a penalty for not shooting customers that are not transformed, okay? Like for example, if you shoot a customer, a aberration, actually not a customer, a aberration, that is not transformed yet, then everything's going to be fine, okay? So look at this guy, okay? So this is a good example, okay? Look at this guy, okay? So if I shoot him now, it's going to be perfect, okay? I'm going to win points up here instantly, and this guy is going to die. Because he's not expecting me to shoot him right now. But if I let him transform, then it's going to take 2 shots to die. And the shotgun will not be this quick in the final version. It's going to have a reload animation between each shot. So yeah, you have to be very careful about these guys, okay? So yeah, imagine that it transformed and then it just leaps towards me, and then I shoot it once and then it gets stunned, and then I reload, and when I'm reloading, it actually leaps towards me again, and I have to dodge and shoot him again. Okay, think about something like that. A tiny little battle, like a very simple battle system inside the game, okay? Nothing too crazy actually, just something very, very simple. So this is why you have to identify false customers, like fake customers, you know, like this guy here, before it transforms, right? And shoot it. And if you shoot innocent customers, then the health bar is going to deplete. If you let a customer die, then the health bar is going to deplete. If you got attacked by a fake customer and it actually hit you, then the health bar is going to deplete. But if you kill a fake customer, a aberration, then the health bar is going to go up. and if you serve a correct order, then the health bar is going to go up, okay? So yeah, this is a attention game, a game about attention, okay? So you have to pay a lot of attention to what you're going to do next, okay? Like what you're doing. Like you can, like any action of yours can have consequences, you know, good or bad. You just have to be very careful about what you do and judge very well if the consequences are going to be good or bad of your next action. But you may think that, oh yeah, it's going to be kind of simple, you know, kind of easy, just serve the customers, kill the aberrations, that's it. But that's not as simple as that, okay? Imagine like in the late game, like after some time of playing, because this version is going to be a endless mode, like a arcade game, okay? So your main objective here is just to survive. I'm planning about adding a story mode as well. As I said before, I want to add lore to this game, so I'm planning on adding a story mode as well, a campaign, which consists in 5 days. Pretty much like Five Nights at Freddy's again, but a little bit different. Okay, so you have 5 days at the shop. Each day things are going to get worse and worse and worse, and in the last day it's going to be the finale of the game. But not the true finale, because I want to add a night shift as well. After you beat the game on the day shift, you unlock the night shift, which it's pretty much the same thing. You have to survive the day and the night. Okay, in the night, things get a little bit more interesting, because couples start coming in, okay? So during the night is going to be a more romantic time, and customer couples are coming together, you know? So 2 customers are coming at once instead of just 1. So you have to be very careful because there's the double of customers, and there's a few other different things, mechanics and gimmicks that I'm not really sure about yet. So yeah, you have to be very careful in the night shift especially. And if you beat the night shift, you get a new ending. So yeah, there's going to be at least 2 to 3 endings in the final version that I have absolutely no plan to finish in October. Jeez, I don't know if I'll be able to finish the endless mode in October. So yeah, so I'm already heading towards a kind of interesting step, okay, because when I have all the basics of the customers and operations working, I can finally remake them, like remake the real version, like make the final version, not final, but a more polished version. And after that more polished version, I can then start adding rules, accessories, clothing, like crazy, you know, adding tons of that. And after that, I will make the health bar, right? So you can die, you know, I'll make the game itself, so you already have a functioning game with all the customers, all the aberrations, all the items, all the gimmicks and mechanics, the rules, everything, but you will not have some polishment and quality of life, okay? So I'm going to add those as late steps, okay, as the later steps. So after I finish all the functionality of the game and make this idea a real game, which I'm coming kind of close to it, I imagine that like next week I already have that. I hope so, at least. I will then polish stuff, okay, and add more stuff, okay? So you can see that the cafeteria is very empty right now. Like, there's not many furniture, and up here is actually very empty as well. And the counter is very empty as well. So everything's very, very empty and very bare bones. Even the shotgun shot, which is kind of polished, is not ready as well. I want to remake it. The customers, like, they're all very, very janky and broken, and the chair positioning is not good, and their behavior, everything is kind of out of place here, okay? So everything is very, very out of place. So after I finish all of the functionality, I'm going to change that, okay? I'm going to add details. I'm going to even change the perspective of the walls. I feel like I need to change the walls. I'm not very satisfied with this wall design. I had a few ideas of how to make a better wall design, so I'm going to make better walls. I'm going to add some like paintings on the walls, carpets on the ground, a tiny little stage up here for the maid to actually perform something. I'm going to add stuff on the counter and even useful stuff, okay? So right here is going to have a menu where all the rules, all the valid rules are written, so you can always just come here and check the rules. So they open like here, I believe, something like this. It will just open a menu right here where all the rules are like right in the middle of the screen, something like that, where all the rules are. So you can read all the valid rules, all the active rules for the fake customers, for the aberrations, right? And I may change even how the items work a little bit. I may tweak tons of stuff. So this part, it's supposed to be kind of broken and janky and ugly and like hushed. So then later on, I focus on making it pretty and beautiful and working perfectly with everything on its correct place, you know. Even the menus, okay, so the menus are very bare bones as well. I want to change that. I want to make more prettier menus. But for now, what you think, okay? So I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the aberrations look good. Like the design of them, I want to change that a little bit. I'll have to remake those sprites anyway, so yeah. But for now, actually, just look at this, okay? So we have customers, we have fake customers, we have items, we have lots of stuff, and the game is actually walking towards a very interesting place. But the fact that I have to change a lot of stuff is kinda complicated, because this way of developing games is not my favorite, to be honest. Like, as I said, one of the streams, I usually develop games like all at once, you know, like for an example, I want to make the customers, okay? Then I will make the customers and make them look pretty perfect before I move to another step, okay? And that is kind of good because it makes a faster progress, but at the same time, it's not faster progress, but a better progress because I already have everything done, you know? But the worst part about it all is that if I want to change something in the future, if I see that in practice this system doesn't work very well, or like I want to make a synergy with another system, it's not going to be very easy, and I'll be very, very like worried about changing stuff that are already working. So if I make stuff that barely works and then polish it later after I see how everything fits together, I may be able to find a sweet spot on polishing the features, you know, and having the features work with one another and everything like that. So developing stuff like making the bare bones first and then polishing it later, it's something that I never done before. Okay, I never done anything like it before. I always just finish the stuff on the run, but now I'm doing it very slowly and thinking about remaking stuff, which is something that I never thought about before. Like when I made a system, this is it. This is the final system to the game, you know? Like in Soulslinger, the blessing systems, I had to remake it, but it was such a hassle because I did not have that mentality, that mindset of remaking stuff in the future. I had the mindset that said to me that you have to make stuff look good right now. But for Smack, I want to test something out, I want to try something different, I want to try a different workflow to see if I get it better, you know, if I kind of make something with more quality. By making something with less quality first and then upgrading it in the future, I don't know if it works, I don't know if it looks good, I don't know if it will actually result in a better game. But generally, it's a different way of making it, of making stuff, you know, so it's kind of exciting for me to just make stuff on a different way. It is very, at the moment, actually, I think it's kind of sad that I did not show you how I developed, for an example, Marimoth Soulslinger for Substrays the way that I did. The time that I decided to live stream the process, I'm trying something new, I'm trying new stuff, I'm trying something different, you know? But I don't think that's a bad thing. As I already said before, my life changed so much since I worked that way. So I'm no longer the rushed guy that wants things right now. I want things to work right now. I'm no longer that guy. I'm more like a patience man, you know. I work with patience. Like, I like to think that way, at least. Like, everything has its time, and I have the privilege to choose their time, you know. So if I want to make everything slowly and carefully and then polish them later, I can do that. So it kind of helps me to make a better product and a better game in general, I believe, at least. So yeah, I have to change a lot of stuff in this game, like a lot of stuff in this game. I think that I'll wrap this stream right here. Okay, I'll wrap up this stream. It was very fun. Again, sorry for the unexpected horror stuff. I'm kind of worried about that, so if you have any feedback to give me about that, I would love it. I would literally love it. Like, please give me feedback. I really need it. To see what other people think, because my opinion is not like the best one, because I'm the one making it. So it's not going to be a very honest opinion, you know? I want someone to see it and tell me what they think, you know? So what you think when you see this game, okay? You think it has potential? Do you think it looks good? What would you change, you know? All those kind of stuff. And especially about the paid customers, about the aberrations, right? I really need like an opinion about this. So this guy is very scary, but at the same time it's very goofy. And maybe it's not leading towards the best. Like, it's not leaning towards the best option of creature design to have in this game specifically. So I don't know what you think, okay? So it's my first time doing horror stuff in like a long time, and I pretty much never published anything horror, like with some horror genres. You know, even my DeviantArt and my Twitter don't have like any horror in it. It's very family friendly. But I decided that I want to try something new. I want to try something more interesting that would call the attention to more people, you know. I kind of studied a little bit of how to make a game of success nowadays, and I settled on two things that helps a lot, which is horror themed. Maybe that's because I just watch horror stuff, so this actually may be a reason why I think that horror makes more success, because I watch horror content. Not horror content, but horror games content in specifically. I'm not very fan of horror in general, I'm just fan of horror games. And not every horror game, I kind of feel like some of them, just some of them. So that is why I think that it actually works best to make a horror game, because it calls more attention, okay? Think about it, okay? So the games that made like huge success in the past few years, okay? So there is Undertale, which is the least horror one, but one of the most memorable parts are about the amalgamations actually. So that part is horror, I would call it horror. Doki Doki Literature Club made tons of success, actually made tons of success actually because of its horror elements, of its family-friendly apparent style, but then it came with like huge stuff about horror. But I believe Doki Doki actually worked better, not because of the horror itself, but because of the concept and the themes that it was like talking about and showing. But then came FNAF, okay? I always try to remember about the story of Scott Calton, where like he created tons of games before, like 20 years of game development, and he was like poor because of that. And he was very like obscure, you know. Nobody cared for his work or anything like that. And then he decided to make a horror game as his last resort. And he just blew up and became FNAF, and now he's a billionaire pretty much. I don't know billionaire, but millionaire at least. I don't know. Something like that, okay? Not just about money, but about the gratification of your work being noticed by people, you know? Like, I would love that if my games would receive more players, but at the same time, that's fine, you know? Like, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not here just for the fun, but I'm also not here just for the money. I want a mix of both of them, okay? Because in the end, I really need money, which is sad, but we need money. So trying new stuff is very essential for that, and trying to get a working product, a product that like calls the attention of more people is important. And as I said before, I would love to just do it for fun. When I was just doing it for fun without worrying about like the money aspect of it, it was so much better. I was like so much happier. But now that I have to think about the money aspects of it, unfortunately, it kind of have a bittersweet taste, you know, to it. Like, it kind of added that bitter taste to game development, you know? Because it's no longer just a hobby, it's a profession, it's my job to do it. And until it does not work, until it don't work, actually, it's going to be very stressful to me. So this is why I'm trying different stuff, and this is why I'm leaning towards the horror elements, because I believe that horror elements actually bring more visibility to the project in general, and not only the horror elements, but also the story, okay? Because all those games that I see actually getting famous on the internet nowadays have something to do with lore, okay? So Undertale got really famous because of the character development, the character design in general, and the lore. The lore is amazing, okay? Omori, another good example, has the horror stuff, but at the same time has tons of lore. FNAF is just still alive because of the lore, which is not a good lore, but it's lore. People are there for the story, people are there for the lore. And Doki Doki actually, again, for the lore. So a mix between horror and lore can make, I'm not saying it's a certainty, but can make a good, like, not a good game, but like, it can make actually a good game, but a more visible product, you know? You can make like a product that calls more attention to people and has more visibility in general. Because, yeah, I don't know why everyone is so fixated with horror. I know why people are fixated with lore and history, okay? So history not history, but story in games, you know, like narratives. So, because it's not every game that's famous has to have horror elements, okay? So I would say that even like Outer Wilds, okay, one of the biggest games of all time, I would say. If you did not play Outer Wilds, play Outer Wilds. Don't look at any spoilers, just play Outer Wilds. It's life-changing, okay? That game still has some horror elements. Even though very minor, it still has horror elements. So I believe that horror is kind of something that exists in everything that makes a little bit of success, you know? Even Minecraft. Okay, Minecraft has some horror elements to it. Like the horror of being alone, some like psychological stuff, you know? And now with more physical stuff, like for example, the warden or the creaking, stuff like that, you know? So even Minecraft has horror related to it, and it's a big part of its success, I would say. Like, with all the Herobrine stuff and legends and stuff like that, it actually gives to it. And you know, the lore is also very important as well. Even though Minecraft does not have a specific lore, it is one of the biggest aspects of the game to let the players decide the lore of their worlds. So, lore is very, very important. I would say that lore is even more important than horror. Or, you could lean to the other, like, aspects, which is the gameplay, okay? So you can make a extremely fun gameplay. For an example, what Terraria do, what Stardew Valley do. I'm not a very big fan of Stardew Valley actually, but I'm a huge fan of Terraria, and I can see why people love Stardew Valley, and I can see why people love Terraria. So those games, yes, they have lore, they have like they don't have horror. That's the thing, okay? They don't have horror. Oh, but Terraria has the Dungeon Guardian. Okay, so it's not horror. Okay, the Wall of Flesh is not horror. Okay, Terraria is not a horrifying game. Terraria is not a horror game. Okay, Terraria is a game pure about gameplay. And like Stardew Valley as well. Like the lore of Stardew Valley, I don't know if it has a greater lore, but that's not about it. People don't play Stardew Valley because they want to uncover another big mystery. They don't play Stardew Valley because they want to have some scares or they want to have a existential crisis. It's actually the opposite. They want to have a good gameplay, a chill vibes and stuff like that. So what I got from that, okay, so I can make a game which has a interesting gameplay, it has horror elements, it has a lore, but since I'm a lonely developer, not lonely, but actually since I'm a solo developer, that's a right term for that, since I'm a solo developer, I cannot make like a huge masterpiece, like, I can, that's the thing, I can, but I don't feel like I have enough to do that, okay? I have a long journey to go, a long way to go, before I actually feel ready to tackle a project on the size of Undertale, on the size of like Terraria, or no, Terraria is pretty much impossible, or something like Doki Doki even. So I'm trying to lean more towards the FNAF 1 vibes, you know? Like the vibes of a simple game with interesting gameplay that has all those elements together, just to try to get something out there, you know, just to try to get some attention. Because even though I really think that Mario Morph, Forest of Stray, Soulslinger are amazing games and I really love them, and it was such an amazing step of my life, amazing parts of my life, just developing them, I feel like that era is already over. I'm now heading to another era where I don't make stuff because I feel like I want to, I make stuff because I feel like it's going to work better. It's kind of sad to think that way, but I think it's a more realistic way of thinking, and I'm trying my best to want to make this stuff, okay? So making this guy, for an example, making this horror creature here, it was kind of fun, right? It's not my favorite style, I'm not a edgy teenager anymore, you know? So it's not something that, nothing against edgy teenagers, I think your style is great, okay? But I'm not one of these, like, it's not my style, you know, to draw horror stuff, to make horror stuff, but I feel like it's something that I have to learn how to do again. I have to come back to it and kind of like to do it, you know? I have to learn how to like to do it. And even though today I'm more like a cute guy, a guy that make cute stuff, I want to lean more towards the horror stuff as well, a little bit. Just try to see if that works, and I'm trying to like it. So yeah, and I learned that making horrifying stuff is a lot harder than it looks. Really a lot harder. I tried Tasogare, I want to come back to that game. That game has amazing lore, has huge gameplay, and it's like, the concept of Tasogare is such a perfect game. If I could put all the cards on the table, like all my cards on the table into one game, I would vote for Tasogare. Actually, I believe that Tasogare would be the best game that I ever made. At least in terms of chances to get popular, you know. Because that game has tons of mysteries, tons of lore, interesting gameplay, kinda deep themes, you know, very heavy themes, and some interesting stuff. Tasogare is a genuine horror game. Smack, on the other hand, is a game that kinda like plays a little bit with the horror aspects, but it's not its main focus. Okay, the main focus of Smack is actually the gameplay. The lore is secondary and the horror stuff are secondary as well. So I'm trying to make something great. I'm trying to make something that will catch attention. And I really hope it works, actually. And as I said before, it's not just for the money, right? I want to do it because I like to do it. I want to do it because this is my passion. I love making games, and even though it seems like I get tired very quickly, I think it has to do more with my mind being too busy all the time than like me not liking it, not like what I'm doing, you know? Yeah, it's true. Like in the past, it was more fun. But now I have more experience. In the past, I couldn't do a lot of stuff that I wanted because I didn't know how to do it, you know? Today, I know how to do it, and I have ideas, and I can create complex systems, but now I have to be more professional, you know? So I had to trade fun for experience, you know? This is kind of sad, but I believe this is how it works with pretty much everyone. When you do something for like 5 years, you get tired of it someday, you know? But this is fine. And even though I would get tired about game development, this is the path that I chose. This is the mask that I chose to wear, you know? If you played Sable, you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean, actually. So, yeah, even though I get tired about game development, even though it does not work like first try, even though it does not work in like 10 years, it's something that I'll always keep trying, you know? I'll always try something new, I'll always try to expand my horizons into something different. And I have lots of ideas of how to do that. Smack is just the first tiny little step to a big change in my games, okay? And if I see that horror stuff don't get that much attention as I thought it would get, actually, then I move to another theme, another stuff. Then I try to make a game with more mysteries, with more focus on lore, maybe a Metroidvania, a discovery game, something like that. It would be so much fun. And in the end, I can always just mix everything together into one pan, into one giant cauldron, and make a huge game, extremely messy, but a game that would have everything together, you know? So I have plenty of options of how to do it, but this is a tiny step towards a new direction of my life as a game developer. Okay, so Smack is a tiny step towards the change, okay? A change that I feel that I had to make sometime sooner or later, actually. And I decided that I want to make it now. Now is the best time that I have to make this change. So this is why I'm trying to focus on more horrifying stuff, maybe? So tell me what you think. Do you like this guy? Do you think it's too goofy? Do you think it's too scary? Do you think it's right on spot? Tell me. I would love to know that. So I believe that's it. It was a good talk. It was a good stream. Very productive. I actually got a lot of stuff done. Right now I'm going to work even more today. Unfortunately, during the afternoon I'll not have much time because I have lots of chores today, a lot of house chores to do. But tonight I'm going to work a lot. I don't know if I'll stream, probably not. I'll stream again, probably just Monday morning, at least morning for me. And just for reference, it's 11:30 a.m. to me, okay? So yeah, I'll actually try to get more active on social media. You can find my Blue Sky account down in the description. I may actually just put my Twitter as well, again, since Twitter is back on Brazil. I'm really looking forward to posting more on my Blue Sky, because Blue Sky is kind of getting bigger and bigger every day, you know, it's kind of amazing. and I'm getting followers just for existing there. It's been a month since I don't post anything, and yesterday I got like 2 followers in one day for nothing. So I could try that. I could try to show there as well, and maybe ask if people want to see my streams there. I want to actually remain more active on YouTube. Even after October ends, I'll still make live streams. Not like every business day like that I'm doing right now. Like I'm doing right now, actually. Not a marathon of streams. But I'm going to do something a little simple, okay? Like 2 streams a week, 3 streams a week. I stream where I play something, I stream where I just draw something, I stream where I work on my games. Various different contents. Like very different kinds of contents as well. So I'm trying to think that that would be very fun, you know? Like playing games on stream is something that I really want to do for like a long time. So I really want to do that. And even though I already said that that I want visibility, that I want people playing my games, I don't want to get corrupted to the point that that's the only thing that matters, you know? I want to do stuff because I want to do stuff, and I want to do stuff because at least one person will like it, you know? If I make one person happy, or if I make one person have fun, or feel intrigued, or like have fun in general, like with my games, or like look at art of me and smile, or get inspired just because of my work, it's enough, okay? If I can change one person, if I can change the day of one person, it's already enough for me. And this is my true goal in the end. Yes, I want to make money, yes, I want to live of this, yes, I want to do like lots of different stuff, but in the end, all I really want to do is just have fun and give fun, you know? This is my main objective, this is my main reason of doing all of this. So, yeah. I kinda like to just talk like this, it's very fun. And thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Maybe in a few years, people will actually come back to this live stream and think, oh, so this was like Axeru's mindset. You know, at the time, this is what Axeru was thinking back then. Like, who knows what will happen like a year from now? Who knows what will happen like 10 years from now? A decade? Like, we don't know. And that's scary, but at the same time, that's amazing. Maybe in 10 years, I'm a very successful game developer. Maybe in 10 years, I have crippling depression. I don't know. Sorry for that. But I really don't know. Like, what will happen? So, it's very worrying to think about the future, but at the same time, it's very amazing to think that we have opportunities, you know? And if you feel like you're stuck, and if you feel like you're trapped, I already felt that way a lot of times, actually in the past. It's a feeling that keeps coming back, and I have to fight it all the time. But all that I can tell you is take it easy and have a goal in mind. Have something that you want. Not like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. That's important as well. That's important to have a big goal. But have a goal like, I want to get this finished by today. And if you're not feeling like working that day, if you have the possibility, actually, just don't do it. Leave it to the next day. Try to do something that makes you feel satisfied. And if you're feeling that you're locked, you're trapped, you don't see a future for you, try to remember that we are all free. Okay, we are all free to do whatever you want to. Like, oh, but that will disappoint that person. Screw that person's opinion, right? Do whatever you feel is right. You are free to do that. You just have to actually work with the consequences of your actions. This is why it's important to think and reflect about decisions and actions and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you feel like you just have to do something for the sake of doing it and don't want to think too much about it, just do it. Don't think too much about it. This is how I actually made Marimoth. I was thinking too much about games and bigger projects and complex like stuff. And then one day I decided, you know what, I'm going to drop everything that I've done until now. I'm going to just give up, archive all the projects that I'm working right now, and focus on one single project that I don't even know how it's going to look like. And then my brother said that idea, and then I got the idea of a moth, and then I instantly got the idea of Marimoth. Not instantly, I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was pretty much like that. In one day, I dropped everything that I was doing and started working on Marimoth. And you know what? It works. It worked. Marimoth is on Steam right now. I published my first game because of one of those crazy decisions that I just, like, decided, you know what, I'm going to give everything to the destiny, to the fate, you know, and work on something that I feel like I want to do right now and get it done. This is how I managed to break that vicious cycle of starting a project, giving up on it, and starting another project. This is how I broke it by a random decision that actually cost me the development of Arrowland, of Stone Souls, of all the projects that I was thinking about at the time. But it works. You know, it worked. And remember to take one step at a time. Like, I know we have bigger goals, we have bigger dreams, but take one step at a time. Each step that you take is going to lead you closer to that dream. And one day, like in 10, 20 years, when you're at that spot, you'll look behind and see that actually, I maybe miss those days. Or like think about like actually, it was not very long ago. Like maybe a year may take a lot of time, but think that we are already in October 2024. The time feels like the time is moving a lot faster, doesn't it? So 10 years is not very far from here. You know what I mean? So maybe you look in 10 years and you look back and see that a lot of things changed, but those changes actually happen very fast. So what I'm trying to say is don't worry about the time too much, you know? Try to make stuff on your time. Your day will come. Your time to shine will come. And if it never comes, fake until you make it. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm faking until I make it. So with that, I'm going to end today's stream. Sorry for the deep talk, sorry for the horror content out of nowhere, and I would appreciate any feedback that you could give me. So thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for being here with me. I really hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you on Monday. So yeah, see you soon. Até mais.